done that.
So like MS Teams is taking time to update, I guess.
Okay.
Like I updated like yesterday, but still it didn't get updated.
Okay, so all of you have, at least from your end, you have done it, right?
Yes, sir.
Aditya Agarwal?
Yes, sir.
You have uploaded your profile picture?
Not yet, sir, but I will do it after the class, sir.
Okay, do it immediately. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So before we go to heat transfer, I just want to hear from you for briefly. So maybe we can spend about 10 minutes regarding if you have a registration problem or anything. Then if a lot of issues come out, then we can have a separate session. Huh? So any issue regarding your registration apart from the slot thing that I am resolving with the department and the institute. So anything other than the slot, fees payment, these two issues we are aware that you paid the fees, but somehow it's not updated or that kind of things. Huh? Anything other than these two? Okay, so I think if you have any issue, we can discuss later also. I don't see any lot of issues are there. So let us go to the heat transfer course. So what are the courses you have done in the previous semester?
Fluid mechanics and chemical process calculation.
Fluid mechanics and chemical process calculation. All right. And this semester, apart from this heat transfer, what are the other courses you are taking?
Thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics. Okay. All right. So fluid flow is one of the vital course for chemical engineering, and you will need fluid flow even for heat transfer. Just trying to find a place to keep my laptop. I have a note here. So that for heat transfer, you will need a lot of fluid flow knowledge, especially for convection. Okay, so another thing I want to do is that I want you to switch on your video. Since this is the first lecture, I want to see all of you. So, I think there is something to do highlight so that you can see. Akash Munia, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Where are you? I want to see. So now if you're speaking, so your video should come as a highlighted. So let me see where is that? Okay. So what about Avilash Sinha? Avilash Sinha. Avilash Sinha is here. Okay. Abhishek Purohit. Where is Abhishek Purohit?
Yes, sir, here.
Okay. All right. Abhishek Purohit is here. Aditya Agarwal.
Yes, sir, here.
Aditya Agarwal. Okay. Aditya Chawla.
Yes, sir, I am here.
Okay. So then we have Adrija Roy.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. Adrija Roy. Akshay Agrawal. Akshay Agrawal.
Yes, sir. I am also there.
Okay. Anik Mondal.
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Okay. Anik Verma. See, if someone is speaking, so their video normally comes as highlighted in Google Meet. So I'm trying to see where is that option here. So do you know what is that option? More actions for participant. I have to figure out later. Okay. All right. So there is Ankit Verma. Where is Ankit Verma? Not here. Arjav Rastogi.
Not here.
Okay. Avaru Badri Visal.
Yes, sir.
Awais Akhtar.
Present, sir.
Okay. Devesh Govind.
Yes, sir.
Deepjoy Boshak.
Yes, sir.
Jyotiraditya. Jyotiraditya. Katra Kaushal Jagdish.
Yes, sir. Present.
Kumari Bhavna.
Yes, sir.
Lalit
Present.
Pote. Lalit Pote.
Yes, sir.
Mausam Sinha.
Yes, sir. Present.
Mayank Paswan.
Present, sir.
Muskan Jain.
Present, sir.
Niti Raj.
Yes, sir.
Nitin Baghel.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Pooja Sharma.
Yes, sir. Present.
Rahul Goldar.
Present, sir.
Rahul Nath. Rakesh.
Yes, sir.
Jayant Reddy. Rishabh Kumar. Rohit Pradhar. Samira Yasmin.
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Sahil. Okay, Samira, Rohit, both are here. Sahil Bairagi.
Yes.
Saikiran Narwad. Saikiran Narwad.
Present, sir. Yes, sir.
Sajad Ansari. Shaksha Maria.
Present, sir.
Sankalp Bose. Sanskar Patni.
Present, sir.
Sanskar Singh. Sayan Maiti.
Yes, sir.
Sayan Maiti is here. Shivam Raj.
Yes, sir.
Shubham Kumar.
Present,
Shubham Kumar. Okay. So Sanskar Singh, Sayan Maiti, Shivam Raj, all three are here. Shubham Kumar.
Present, sir.
Siddhant Kumar.
Sir.
Subhajit Bagh.
Present, sir.
Okay. Subhda Prasad Murmu.
Yes, sir.
Suresh Meena. Sarup Mandal. Soheb Nazir. Sudipta Das.
Present, sir.
Udatha
Present.
Anuradha. Okay. Udaya Misra. Udaya Misra. Utkarsh Singh.
Present, sir.
V. Sai Venkat.
Present, sir.
Chinmay Jain.
Yes, sir.
Ronak Agarwal. Shivoy Dixit.
Yes, sir.
Raman Jajani.
Present, sir.
Ayush Surana.
Present, sir.
Shikha Kumari.
Present, sir.
Ayush Airan. Aditya Jha. Mohammad Athar. Mohammad Athar. Akhil Nama.
Yes, sir.
Roshni Kaur. Yash Jain.
Present, sir.
Okay, Yash Jain.
Present, sir.
Abhishek Kumar.
Present, sir.
Achal Kumar. Jai Tonde.
Present, sir. Achal Kumar, present, sir.
Okay, okay. Jai Tonde is also here. Okay. Girija Karthik.
Present, sir.
Padmasri Nithu Pudi.
Yes, sir.
Olami Chaudhuri.
Present, sir.
Pratik Korane.
Present, sir.
Pratik Kumar.
Present, sir.
Rastik Gowda B. Rakshit Gowda.
Present, sir.
Rohit Dhamija.
Yes, sir.
Shayan Haldar.
Yes, sir.
Shanmukh Shaivardhan.
Present, sir.
Shashank Gautam.
Present, sir.
Shivans Raj.
Yes, sir.
Saraman Pal.
Yes, sir.
Siddhant Thul.
Present, sir.
Somil.
Present, sir.
Komik Sarkar.
Present, sir.
Vivek Shurekha.
Present, sir.
Arawar Rushi Girish.
Present, sir.
Naman Goel.
Present, sir.
Suraj Kishore.
Present, sir.
Charvi Jain. Aman Kedia.
Present, sir.
Varun Balkrishna.
Present, sir.
Vatsal Venkat Krishna.
Present, sir.
Kutte Tejas Chandrakant.
Present, sir.
Yashvi Jain. Yashvi.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Okay. Bojja Sai Teja.
Present, sir.
Okay. So good to see you here. So I'm not interested in a roll call or your attendance, but this is required because otherwise you become a number and a name only. So to me, you are not a number, not a name. You are a guy who wants to learn, and so this connection is required for a good learn. Okay. So sometime yeah. What happened?
Sir, I was late by 10 minutes. matlab.
Okay.
So-
So what's your name?
Sir, Ayush Sharon, 19CH 10072.
Okay. All right.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, Aditya Jha, like I was on mute, so like Aditya Jha 19CH 10073.
10073. All right.
Sir, I haven't registered yet, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My name was also not called.
So who all of you who didn't register and I didn't call their name? So just tell me. It will be easier for me.
Sir, Vaishnavi Manavade.
Vaishnavi.
Manavade. MLWD.
That's fine. I'll find out from ERP. Vaishnavi, and who else?
Rishi Suwada, sir.
Rishi. Suwada. Anyone else?
Adarsh
So,
Kumar.
Gaurav,
हाँ एक एक करके बताओ.
Sir, SB Tanay Gaurav.
हाँ. SB.
SB Tanay Gaurav.
Tanay Gaurav. Okay.
Rahul Kumawat.
Kumawat.
Rahul Kumawat.
Rahul Kumawat. Okay.
Adarsh
Snehabandhu Singh.
Charvi Jain.
Who is here? Just tell the name.
Charvi Jain.
Charvi Jain. Okay.
Snehabandhu Singh.
Snehabandhu Singh. Okay. Anyone else?
Adarsh Kumar.
So Gaurav Jha,
Gaurav Jha.
19CH
Okay, I'll find out. Don't worry. Just tell the name. Who else?
Excuse me, sir. Like when you called my name, I said present, sir. But one of my friends said that I wasn't audible. So can you confirm whether my attendance has been marked or not?
Okay, don't worry.
Naman Jajani.
Naman
19
Jajani.
CH 19 CH 10069.
Naman Jajani. I'll check later. Okay, Naman Jajani.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? Huh?
Adarsh Kumar.
Okay.
Sir, Nitin Baghel.
Sir, Soham Zade.
So you haven't registered or you haven't responded?
No, sir, not registered yet.
Okay. So Hom and who else?
Sir, I'm confused whether my attendance marked or not.
Okay,
Nitin
don't.
Baghel.
So, I think more than 10 people haven't registered yet. Okay. So if you haven't registered in the meeting, just send a message in the message box. I will check and do it later. Okay. So let us get started with heat transfer. What is heat transfer? Abhishek Purohit. What is heat transfer? Are you saying something? I cannot hear you. Okay, Mausam Sinha, what is it?
Hello, sir. Am I audible now?
Who is this?
Sir, Abhishek Purohit.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
what is
Sir,
heat transfer?
sir, heat transfer is the transfer of heat from the body which is at higher temperature to the body which is at lower temperature. It
Okay.
may be in any form like conduction, convection, or radiation.
Okay, that's what you have studied in your maybe from 7th standard. You studied a heat transfer in your physics, right? Okay. So anyone else? Any idea what is heat transfer? Any additional idea? So every batch there is at least 2 Rohits. Any one of the Rohit. What is heat transfer?
Sir, heat transfer can be defined as the exchange of momentum or energy or mass in form of conduction, radiation, and convection.
Well, it's not energy exchange of momentum. Will not be heat transfer, of course. Okay, a little bit. I want a little bit of engineering aspects. So since you have done this CPC, I hope you will be able to tell me a little bit engineering aspect of heat transfer. There will be surely many Rahuls in your class. So any Rahul, what is heat transfer? A little bit of engineering side. Okay, let me catch Utkarsh Singh. Utkarsh Singh, turn on your video.
Yes.
Transfer.
About heat transfer, says the same thing that comes to my head is that that's the transfer of heat between a material. For example, that a fluid flows through the pipe, then the heat transfer that happens in the fluid in different scenarios. That's what comes in my head.
Okay. Okay, all right. So now, anyone else want to add something? Okay, so let me tell you what is my idea of heat transfer. See, in a chemical industry, so give name any chemical industry you have seen, you have experienced, you know of.
Pharmaceutical.
Pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so yeah, pharmaceutical industry. Okay, the tablet. Pharmacy. What is the product of pharmaceutical industry?
Medicinal drugs.
Medicines, drugs. So when you buy something from store, what is the temperature of that tablet? Room temperature.
Room temperature.
Of course, right? So when the storekeeper buys from the distributor, that's also in room temperature. Distributor buys from the factory, that's also in room temperature. All right. What is the raw material for the tablet? Anyone has any idea what is the raw material for the tablet?
Different chemicals.
Different chemicals. So those are called API, active pharmaceutical ingredients. Do you have any idea that what fraction of the tablet is active pharmaceutical ingredient that is actually the medicine?
Very less.
Okay, how much?
5% or less maybe.
Okay, it's very less. What is the rest 95% of the tablet composed of?
Activators.
Those are called incipients. So mainly those are like polymers, sometimes like some calcium component, like a chalk dust, that kind of things. Okay. So so all these materials are made into a tablet. Now all these materials, say let us talk about this active pharmaceutical ingredient. So that forms in a, so this medicine is formed through a reaction. Okay. So as you know that most of the reaction doesn't happen at room temperature. Sometimes it may happen at higher temperature, sometimes it happens at a lower temperature. So in chemical industry, any chemical industry, so pharmaceutical is one example. So more easier to tackle example which you will know is the refineries. What is the raw material for refinery?
Crude oil.
The crude oil. Okay. So the crude oil is coming to the refinery from the barge, and which is again at room temperature. And the petrol that we are buying, or the petrol that is the refinery is selling, that's also in room temperature. So in between, what happens to the crude?
It gets filtered.
From your CPC knowledge, can you tell me what process is required for making petrol from crude oil?
Distillation.
Distillation process. Okay. Now what happens in a distillation process?
The crude oil is heated and extracted in various temperatures, high temperatures.
Yeah. So crude oil is basically boiled. So the distillation process requires boiling of something. The vapor goes and vapor is lighter, and the whatever remains, that is the heavier. So we'll learn more in this mass transfer operations. But in a nutshell, the distillation process involves heating something. So the crude oil that is coming from the barge and in the storage at room temperature, first thing you need to do is to heat that crude. Okay. And once you heat it, and then you will be able to boil it, the vapor goes, and then your petroleum or the liquefied LPG and all other things as a lighter product. So think about petrol. So petrol comes as vapor. Someone is asking something? Okay. So petroleum it needs to be heated. So in all chemical industry, everything that most of the intermediates are not at room temperature. For a reaction to occur, you need to heat that reactants to certain temperature. Someone the echo is coming, so please mute at this point. Okay. So the reaction, distillation, all these chemical processes, most of them occur at a temperature other than room temperature. Many occur at elevated temperature. Many may occur at colder environment. So, for example, if a vapor is coming from a top of a distillation column, that need to be cooled down. So that requires lower temperature. But in chemical industry, you always need to heat something and cool something. So these operations are called heat transfer operation. In your home also, we always need to heat something and cool something. Our refrigerator takes the cooling load, and our ovens take the heating part. Now, the difference between a domestic purpose and the industry heating cooling is that in industry you have to do these heating or cooling operations, which are basically we call heat transfer, in a most efficient manner. Because if you don't do it in a most efficient manner, your competitor may do it in a little more efficient manner and you lose business. So that's the simple thing. So that's why all the heat transfer operations in a chemical industry needs to be well designed so that if you are heating something, you heat it in a most efficient manner. If you are cooling something, you are cooling it in the most efficient manner. So the heat transfer course that you are taking, that will give you the basic background using which you will be able to design an industrial heating and cooling process. So that is what the heat transfer course is for. Heat transfer course will take you to the basics of heat transfer and teach you that what are the engineering practices for most efficient and safe heat transfer operations. So you have to remember that engineering is a culture. It depends on exact science, but it also has a lot of inheritance from industrial and engineering experiences. So the textbooks of engineering subjects, they contain those experiences. So you will find many places it's written that this is engineering practice to do so and so. So this came from century-old knowledge, some of which may be explained through exact science, some of which may not, because nature is very complex, and science most of the time takes a simplified version of nature. So engineering problems are sometimes very complex, and we still depend on a lot of engineering experience, century-old experience and data. So those are maybe a primitive version of data-driven science. So those we have to keep in mind. Okay, so I hope you understand what is the subject matter of heat transfer. It's the heating and cooling operations, and it will talk about what is the best way of heating or cooling something. Any question, concern, comments?
No, sir.
Devesh Govind, you are saying something?
Sir, I was saying that we have no questions. We don't have any questions.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Okay, so let me share my screen or Share content. Okay. Okay, the textbook. So first, let me show you the textbook. So this is your textbook. You can see the screen, I hope. Fundamentals of heat and mass transfer. So if you want to note it down, please note it down. This Indian edition is available. So it's something around, I think, 400 rupees or so. Please go ahead and buy it. It's a very good book. Okay. So I use this book. I will use this book for conduction and radiation, and I think Arnav is will be also using it for convection part. So this course is divided into three major sections or four major sections. The first one is, of course, conduction. That I will take a good part of it in this week. And then I'll take class every Friday taking conduction, and once the conduction is over, we'll go to radiation. And Arnav will start with convection from next week, and after I think after mid-sem, we'll start discussing about heat exchangers, design of heat exchangers, different type of heat exchangers, their configuration, utility, and small amount of design. And the next semester, you will learn more about design of heat exchangers. So this is the overall course structure and textbook. Any question? Okay. So now let us go into the three modes of heat transfer. First one is conduction. So who will be telling me what is conduction heat transfer? Okay, Pratik Kumar.
Yes, sir.
What is conduction heat transfer?
Conduction is transfer of
Can you
heat.
switch off? Can you turn on your video?
Yes, sir. It's transfer of heat from one physical substance to another physical substance. It involves a physical medium.
It's involved?
Physical medium.
Physical medium. Okay. Anyone else? Any other? Any addition to this?
Sir, it's the conduction of heat energy from high temperature to low temperature through a body via electronic conduction or through the vibration of atoms or phononic vibration.
Okay, very good. So this is the conduction involved. Adrija, again, can you tell me what are the two things that are the components of conduction?
electronic conduction and through vibration of atoms or phononic vibration.
Okay. So conduction heat transfer occurs through two modes. One is electronic conduction and another is the vibration. Okay. So what is the difference between these two modes? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, in vibration, the particles do not move exactly. They do not translate, but in electronic methods, the electrons translate.
Can you please repeat it again?
Sir, in electronic conduction, the electrons translate through the material, and in the other method, no such thing happens.
Okay.
No translation takes place.
Okay. So this kind of conduction that you are talking about, that happens to solids. And solids, their atoms or molecules, they are sitting in a very nicely arranged lattice structure. So it's like a net. So a large net. So all the junctions of the net, those are lattice points where the molecules are sitting. And the wear of the net is basically the molecular bonds. So if I can show you a sketch myself. So these are the solids. So these are the, my screen is visible, no?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So these are the atoms or molecules of the solid. And these are the bonds. So you vibrate some of the molecules here, so that vibration will propagate through the network. Okay. And since temperature is molecular vibration or molecular motion, so this temperature will gradually rise in this direction. So that is one of the way the heat conducts through a solid. Another way the heat may conduct is through electrons. So what kind of electrons? Free electrons. And these free electrons are those exist only in metallic solids. Other solids, the electrons are not free. They are always a part of the bond, so they cannot move. But for metallic solids, something special happens, is that these electrons are not bound to certain, they are not properties of certain metallic nucleus. So they can move. That's why metals conduct electricity so well. So similarly, these vibration also excites these electrons and they keep moving. So they take the heat or the vibrational energy with them. So that kind of mode of heat transfer. So in metal, this is there are two ways heat can transfer through conduction. One is through the lattice vibrations. And these lattice vibrations, so you see that vibration goes like a wave. And see, light is also an electromagnetic wave. And you also know that many cases, the wave cannot explain many things. And it is easier to think those something which is going in certain direction as particles. So that's why we sometimes think light as a particle which called photon. So photons are falling, photons are passing through certain plane. So here also the vibration in the molecular vibrations. So we think them as some particles. Instead of photon, we call them phonons. Okay, so these are called phonons. So in heat transfer textbooks, you will find this term everywhere. So this phonon transport can be seen. So these are the mode of heat transfer in solids. And this is conduction heat transfer in metallic solid. And if there are no free electrons, still there will be lattice vibration that will be passing through the material. And then that is the transfer of heat. So the thermal conductivity, the key property that gives you the conduction is thermal conductivity. So thermal conductivity will depend on this existence of free electrons or the nature of the lattice, both. Is it possible to have heat conduction in liquids and gases? So is it possible to have heat conduction in liquids and gases?
Yes, sir, through convection.
Through?
Convection.
No, I'm asking that is it possible that heat conduction occurs in liquids and gases?
Maybe we can transfer through two solid objects in a liquid.
No, so I'm saying suppose I have a pure liquid or pure gas, say air. Is it possible that heat conduction occur through air?
Sir, it is possible, but the amount of heat being conducted would be very low, almost negligible.
Okay. So any other thoughts?
Sir, I guess it won't, because liquid particles are not, I mean, they're not fixed like the solid particles, like they can move randomly. So maybe that could be the reason that there is no heat transfer via conduction.
Sir, maybe in liquids, heat conduction is possible to some extent because the particles will collide with each other while moving. But in gases, it is very less.
Okay.
Sir, I think in the solids, the collision occurred is like it's ordered, while in gases, the collision is unordered. So when we will look after it, then there will be no direction of transfer. While in solid, there is a direction. Means if the one side is of high temperature and the other side is of low temperature, then there is ordered transfer of energy. While in gases, because the molecules are not fixed, so there would not be any ordered transfer. So I think so. That makes the reason.
So like we could say that in solids, the heat transfer is due to collisions between molecules, and the space between, in solids, the space between molecules is very less, and whereas in liquids the space is comparatively more. That is why that is why there can't be conduction via liquids, because the space between the molecules is larger. And collision.
Okay, so I more or less got the idea what you are thinking. What I understand is that you have an idea that the conduction is more towards a property or something to observe in solids and not in liquids and gases. Even you can agree to some extent, okay, liquid is okay, but it's difficult for you to think that conduction is something important for gases. All right. So that's what I guess from what you are saying. So now you just let us look at this picture again. See this, all the molecules, are they stationary or they are moving?
They are stationary.
They are not stationary. So they cannot leave their lattice point. But they are not stationary. They are vibrating. So you have to remember that from kinetic theory, temperature is the manifestation of molecular or atomic motions. So if atoms are motionless, there will be their absolute temperature will be 0. Okay, so the atoms and molecules, they are having some motion. They are vibrating in their lattice place. Only thing is that they cannot leave their place. So it's like you all are sitting in a classroom. You are in your bench. Your left side, your one friend; right side, your another friend. You cannot leave, but you can vibrate in your place. You can jump up and down in your place. So these lattice points, the atoms which are sitting in the lattice point are exactly the same. So they more jumping and if they are going up and down or left and right in a more vigorous motion, the temperature is higher. And someone is having much motion, they are transferring the motion to the next guy. So that's how these things occur. For liquids and gases, see, these molecules are far apart. See this, if I draw it for liquids, so this may be the picture of liquids, and this may be a picture of a gas. So liquid and gas, they are not qualitatively different, they are quantitatively different in a way their molecules are far apart. Okay, they somewhat you can say that they are qualitatively also different, but at least the difference between solid and liquid and gas, solid and liquid is hugely different, and liquid and gas has certain differences, but that especially at high density gas and low density liquid, they are not too much different. Now, so this conduction happen in liquid and gas to good extent, and under what condition I can show you here. So think of a chamber, a narrow chamber. Okay, these sides are closed, and next semester we will do this experiment if the institute opens. And you put a liquid here, and the top plate is heated by coil, and the bottom plate is cooled by flow of a liquid. So top plate is maintained at 200 degrees centigrade. Bottom plate is maintained at ice water. This is 0 degrees centigrade. And from here you put ice plus water. Here also you get ice plus water. Here you get say 10 gram ice, 90 gram water. Here you get 5 gram ice and 95 gram water. All right. So do any issue, any question with this experimental setup? Because next year we will do that. Next semester, not next year. Heat transfer lab, we will do that. This is perfectly fine, this setup.
So please repeat.
So you have a narrow channel. Okay. Narrow, say 2 discs. 2 circular discs. In between, say 3 millimeter space, which is filled with certain oil or maybe gas. The top plate is heated at 200 degrees centigrade by electrical coils, and bottom plate is maintained at 0 degrees centigrade by using ice water. Is this clear to everyone? Is clear to everyone? Okay,
yes,
someone. Yes. Okay, all right. Now, in this setup, the ice water that I am pushing in contains more ice and less water, and that's going out, is contains less ice, because the top plate is 200 degrees centigrade. Some heat will come down and that will melt some ice, that thereby I can maintain 0 degrees centigrade. Since it's ice water, it will always be 0 degrees centigrade. Agreed? So some heat is coming from top 200 degree plate to down 0 degree plate. So that you agree or not?
We agree.
Okay, all right. Now the question is that if this space is filled with liquid or gas, how heat is coming from top to bottom? Say radiation is not possible. Say radiation occurs significantly at very high temperature, around 600 degrees. So since the temperature is 200 degrees, so there is not much of radiation.
So maybe conduction occurs at the liquid metal junction, and for the rest of the liquid portion, convection occurs, and then again there is some amount of conduction in the lower plate and liquid junction. Maybe.
Okay. So the convection requires macroscopic movement of fluid, not microscopic. Molecular motion happens everywhere. In solid, liquid, gas, everywhere molecular motion happens. Convection is something which is governed by macroscopic motion of liquid. Macroscopic motion, if you do not have any pump, any blower, anything, so how can the macroscopic motion of fluid occur here? Now let me draw it in a opposite way. So if I just put this arrangement upside down, I put the heating coil here and cooling here. Even if I don't put any fan blower, the hot fluid will go up, get cooled down, come back. This kind of convection currents will set in. Okay. But the reason I put the hot plate here is that the moment I started heating, this layer will got heated fast. It will be at highest temperature, but where it will go? It can go nowhere. So that's why if I put the upper plate at higher temperature, there will be no convection. The only way the heat can transfer from top plate to bottom plate is conduction through the liquid or gas. And this is one of the ways in which we can measure the thermal conductivity of liquids and gases, less towards gas but more to liquid. So contrary to popular belief, conduction happens and to more than what you can think for liquid and gases. Their conductivity, of course, lesser, not as much as other things. We'll see in a moment how much those are, or maybe tomorrow. But conduction happens to the gas and liquid as well. And the conduction happens for those cases by molecular motion again, because conduction by definition is not a property of bulk flow. This happens by movement of these molecules. And say this has a much higher vibration. So this molecule experience much higher vibration. And when it goes and jumps or bumps on another liquid or gas molecule, it transfers part of its vibration to this molecule. And you can see that for liquids and gases, the conduction depends on the mean free path, lambda. Okay. So this was a little bit of fundamentals of heat transfer. We'll talk a little bit more about thermal conductivity, conduction, convection, and radiation before we start our venture into conduction. So this much for first day. Any question You please feel free to ask. So if you don't have any question, you can leave. If you have
Sir, I
question,
have one question.
Ah.
Sir, in the case where the hot plate was at the bottom, there convection is happening. Is it because the density? Is it? Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, I'm saying that in the case where the hot plate is at the bottom, there convection is happening because the cooler air is having higher density, right?
Yes. The bottom plate is heated. That means that will give you less dense fluid, and that will rise by buoyancy. That's how all natural flow occurs.
Yes. Sir, and what about a case if we have a static fluid in which the left half of the fluid is at a higher temperature than the right half?
So then the gravity may not be there, but a lot of instability and other thing comes into picture. So left to right motion is not there, but there may be other kind of motion. The safest way to keep the hot plate at the top. You will learn this natural convection, and you will see that different configuration lead to different kind of heat transfer. But if you put the top plate heated, that's the safest way to avoid any convection to the most extent. 100% you cannot cut off, but most of it you can cut off.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So since the actual reason for keeping the mean.
Can you please switch on your video?
Yes. So in the first case, we kept the hotter plate on the top for conduction to occur. But what is the need of keeping that a nano channel, like very thin space?
See, if you put the channel very wide, so it will be even with this top plate heating, it will be difficult to control convection.
So in that case, what will actually happen? Like, will it be a mixture of conduction and convection?
Yeah, their convection. If you make a very wide one, say this gap is too wide. So first of all, because the thermal conductivity is less, so for the wide, the attaining steady state will take a long time. And second thing is that there may be some other local disturbances which will creep in. So a lot of practical issues will come, which may create problem. So the making a stagnant fluid is easier if you keep it. Then more important is that there will be two-dimensional conduction starting. So if you make it a thin one, so it will be one-dimensional. So any radial variation will start the two-dimensional conduction in a much thicker system.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, in that experiment, what was the reason for keeping two different compositions of the ice-water mixture?
Nothing. See, if you want to make 0 degrees centigrade constant, so you have to make ice water, right? Mixture of ice and water. And because it's the bottom plate is receiving heat from the top plate, where the heat will go, it will melt part of the ice by keeping the temperature same.
Like in one case, there was, I think, 5 grams of ice, and in the other 10 grams.
No, not other. So this inlet and outlet.
Okay.
See, this is inlet, this is outlet. See, some heat is received here. So what the heat will do at steady state? The heat will melt some of the ice.
Yes.
So 10 gram ice entered and 5 gram ice is melted 5 gram ice. That's all.
Okay, okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Can you please turn on your?
Okay. Sir, in case of single atomic layer like graphene, if there is no place for movement of particle, then in that case, what is the mode of conduction?
See, graphene and that again the lattice vibrations will go because they are very nicely arranged carbon atoms.
But sir, graphene is a single layered carbon atomic. Actually, it is a single layer carbon atom.
That's better. No, that's why their thermal conductivity is very high, even higher than silver.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter whether we have 2 layers or 3 layers. So as long as you have lattice points and they are connected, so a vibration, if you vibrate one end of it, another end, the vibration will percolate in that lattice.
No, I'm not asking about ends of that graphene layer. I'm just asking above the graphene layer and below the graphene layer. There is just a single layer between two different temperatures. So in that case, what will be the mode of conduction?
Oh, you are saying that from one layer of no. That's basically in practically you cannot have one atomic layer. So if you want to measure conduction in one atomic layer, I don't know what that means. These are all continuum properties.
Sir, it could be
And
true.
continuum is not valid for if you take one atom, it's not a continuum.
Okay.
In fluid mechanics, you are familiar with continuum concept, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are all continuum properties. You are trying to explain a property of a continuum by molecular features.
Sir, this is a continuum, right? So at microscopic level, there are other modes of conduction. Are there any other modes of conduction at microscopic level?
See, microscopic level, unless there is a macroscopic motion of fluid, the heat conducts through conduction and maybe through radiation from somewhere.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so if you don't have question, you can leave. And I have to stop recording also.